Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy D-Braz in the building. Welcome to the fan club. I got a really special artist, homie of mine. Malachi's in the building. What's going on, bro?
What up?
So we're going to be talking a little about music, how we got up to this point, what he's putting out now, future projects, where to find him, a little bit about everything. First of all, we want to welcome you to the show, man. It's going to be a good one. So before we get into it, tell us a little about yourself, man.
Well, I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Okay.
So I came out to Iowa for school, and we was playing football up at UD.
Okay.
We was a part of that 2015 that won the conference championship, first undefeated conference.
With Oscar?
Oscar.
Oh!
Oscar, Lee.
Willie, yeah, dude, I got some songs with those guys, bro. Damn. Woo! I know that squad. You guys were some ballers. I can't believe Oscar's not in the league. Like, that's
he getting started again.
Yeah.
He's
getting into the I'm not no hate Oscar if you're watching. Salute, bro. Good work, man. Hey, shout out all them, man. For real, like I saw he was on like a semi-pro team with get your body ready, and he's still young. I want to say he's only 23, 24. Like he's not that old yet, man. He's super athletic.
Too athletic to not be playing.
Who was the kid? It sucks, can't remember his name. Who's the kid that's on the Bears right now? Or like
that was my roommate, MJ.
Yeah, so you're his roommates. Yeah. I heard that Oscar was actually better than him.
I think what Oscar had right off the bat was athleticism.
Okay.
But MJ knows the game too well.
Just an IQ.
Just mentally.
Okay.
Like, MJ is a fucking football nerd. Like he just sit there. He can mentally just break shit down way better than any like DB I've ever seen. So like I think that's what gave him the edge in the end. Cause like there's a lot of shit you can teach. I can teach you to run faster. I can teach you to jump higher. But just having that natural knack at like how to
where to go, how to run a route, how to do everything. Yep, how to read the routes, how to stick your man strong. Dude, I totally agree. And these guys are some secondary players, like corners for the people that don't know. Yeah. They were sick, and Dubuque has seen its probably best stride of football just in the last 5 to 8 years.
Of course. I came in 2012. The year before that, they had won the conference championship. There was like a couple years where we was off, but since
like that most programs.
You
gotta build. Yeah, obviously it's college for a reason because the drop off is so significant sometimes when you have players like graduate.
I think it's the division. Just that the drop off in the division is what gets it. But then too, there's a lot of like Wisconsin. In Wisconsin, we only have that one D1 school. So Madison is the only D1 school there. So
what about Marquette? That's not they don't have football. They just have basketball.
Yeah, they just got basketball. But even they're in the Big East or something.
Yeah.
So like their competition is gonna be a little bit different.
Yeah, a little smaller.
But even with that said, like the Division III schools, they take them so much serious.
Oh yeah.
It's like so way more serious than we take like our preparation. Like out there, like football is year round for them. And obviously we have like off season lifting, we got like spring ball and like all that kind of stuff. But then Wisconsin schools, like the WIA is just at a different level.
Okay.
They're just at a different level. So it's like it's crazy to come from seeing them growing up. I grew up watching like Oshkosh play in Platteville, hearing about like them. People from our school would go to those schools. So like I grew up hearing about that, and then to come out here and have to play against them, I'm like, I'm already knowing what you're doing. Like,
Hey, that's what it's about. Yeah. Okay, so you played football, you got out here. What led to the music, man? How old were you when you first started music, and where was it? Was it in Milwaukee? Was it here? Like, tell me a little about that.
I've always been around music. Music has been like a facet in our lives, like from a very young age. Like we was in choirs, like with church, school. I stayed in choir till college, actually. So like that was how I got like my first taste of like traveling and doing music.
Okay.
And we would go on tours at the end of the year in college, and they did one in high school. I missed the one in high school, but we got a chance to go to Orlando. So it was like a tour down to Orlando. So we stopped in like Tennessee and like Kentucky and like all of that stuff. And then we went out east. So we was in Ohio, we was in Illinois, like just stopping in certain places with the choir. So that's what made me want to take it seriously. But music has always been a part of my life. Like even when I was probably like 14, 15, me and my cousin would just rap over like everybody else's beats and just kind of like play around with it. But like it started off as something that was just like for fun, and then it became an outlet, and now it's something that I'm just like pushing as like a career.
Dude, that's crazy. You hear that, folks? Choir, man. So my son has shown interest in music since he was little, and this is the first year he's actually in the Dubuque Children's Choir. And, you know, I got him in that at a young age because I know if you're interested in music, and you know, kids, you're interested in music at a young age, join a choir, even if it's the school choir, if it's the church choir, the band, exactly. Go to it and check it out because music is just, it's such a passage to other things, man.
And it's crazy because like when I was like in choir in like high school, like all of the dudes made fun of me, like calling me like gay and stuff. Oh, you be singing, you gay. How I'm gay? I'm one of 7 boys in a class full of females. And you would see it. You would see it.
Cooking class. See, they didn't get it.
I think that's why I stayed in it, because like I'm like, damn, sometimes I don't really feel like singing, but I just get to be around females for a whole hour. Okay.
So what was bomb? My school I went to in high school, they had a men's choir and a women's choir for freshmen and sophomores until you really figured yourself out. Then junior and senior year you got the full choir. So you got to really figure yourself out as a person and vocally before you went and meshed with the women.
That was crazy though. Like, I think my class came in a little bit smaller. So we kind of got pushed into it early. So like there was like the freshman one that was part by part. So it was like male and female freshman classes. But sophomore year I got thrown into like the big choir. So it was like for like the seniors and juniors traditionally. But we ended up being in it, and it kind of
needed people or what? Or you
were
good?
I don't even know what it was. Like we had to audition for it, and there were definitely people in my class that didn't get in. So that I think I was good enough to do it. But it was definitely a learning experience for me. It was definitely something that I was like, I wouldn't say like scared to do, but like once I got there, I
took
was
a lot of commitment.
Like,
bro. So I got a story for you. So there was a time when Wallert's ACAP, like acapella choir, was like top ranked in the nation. Was like top 10 ranked, right? I tried out for it and made it, but I wasn't committed. Right. I literally, like when you said that, it just like reminded me of a time when I was in the, the men's and women's choir. At that time I was in another choir, but it was like this, I was 16 and I wanted to party and I was making rap music. Like I really was. I started actually recording music when I was 14. So like at that point I was 2 years into it and I was already like literally, a 16-year-old making rap music. At that time I was about like the girls, the cars, the other special curriculum activities. Like I was not, bro, and I was skipping school and I wasn't like, and that's why, but dude, that's actually a huge in music. That was one of my biggest regrets, And there's a show we keep real. He's supposed to keep real, but I'll keep it real too. When at that time, that was one of my biggest regrets is not getting on because they ended up going to New York that year performing for one of the big, like, I forget what it was, one of the big stages of like the Broadway shows and shit. Like it was like in front of a huge crowd of thousands of my asses at home because I just didn't want to commit to something.
That's what happened to me in high school.
And then that's what kind of, and it was in a position where I learned like right on of, if you don't get on your stuff and get a job and start putting shit together, everyone's just going to be doing shit when you're at home. And that was one of those things where I did want to, I learned at a young age, that and a few other things happened in my life. I learned, you got to, like, I knew what life was like quicker than probably someone else did. I had to grind, I had to, work hard to make some money so I could do some stuff.
I think that's what happened to me because, like, I was like I wouldn't say I was a class clown, but I was always acting the fuck up. So I was acting the fuck up. So like my parents was always taking opportunities like that away from me. So like there was things that I missed out on. Like I can remember back to like grade school and missing out on the trip to Madison because I was acting the ass in class. So it happened in high school the same way. I was fucking around in high school, and my dad was like, "All right, well you're not traveling with the choir." And like from that point, I'm like, damn, I'm not gonna keep missing out on these opportunities. I can't keep missing out on these opportunities just to get a couple laughs.
Dude, and choir was actually cool. Like it was fun. Like you put in work, but you got to sing songs. And you got to like chill and when you worked singing songs, you just got to chill with, some cool people, and mostly, like you said, females.
Facts.
It wasn't just
that was the best part about
it. It wasn't like you were just sitting there and you were wasting your time. No, you were helping yourself. And I told my son Cameron, choir really helps your chords. Like it helps you what do you do before you actually sing? You warm up. Yeah. So we're doing vocal lessons. You're getting free voice lessons pretty much is what you're getting.
Basically.
And you tell people, you're gonna pay for you could pay for voice lessons, or you could for singers out there, or even hip hop artists that want to get more in tune with the notes and chords. Go join the Dubuque Choir. They're always looking for people, man. Just for something free, you don't gotta pay for. They'll get you the opportunities. They just need people.
Right.
That's free voice lessons. Yeah, but you're not paying for it. But it takes time. You know what I mean? You gotta put some love into it. And when I mean love, it's either money or some time, man. That's what it is, because time's money. So if you appreciate it and you like it that much, though, it really comes back to help.
For sure. And I think a lot of what I kind of downplayed, while going through it, was that I learned shit that people who are music aficionados don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So there might be people that know the history of jazz and the history of hip hop and all of that. They can't read sheet music.
Oh yeah.
So I learned how to read sheet music in choir, and learned how to read sheet music in band, and all that kind of stuff.
You can read it?
Right.
Oh,
so
wow.
that helped a lot in learning how to produce certain things, how my timing and flows go. That played a huge role in it.
Okay, so how old were you when you made your first song?
My first song? See, this is different. This is weird. That's a weird question. Cause what happened was when I first started, I was just sit in rooms and rap record on my phone while the shit was playing in the background. First real.
Honestly, when I got really if people know me, they know I can freestyle my ass off. I'm just clicking it, and these days that's how all my songs get made. They're a freestyle, then I have to write it down because I'm crap, that was fire. So I understand how a lot of your songs are just getting it. When I started, it was just writing because I wasn't that good. This was back in 2004, and no one rapped, and I was just kind of a little at first, behind the scenes doing it.
Right.
And then once I had a few in my head hits, they sucked. But I was telling people, they were popping in my head. I was the white chingy in my head, man. That was I was 03, 04, bro. There wasn't a lot of commercial hip hop that at the time was very good besides Eminem. Obviously, that was one that was you could hear on the radio that was actually spitting bars, but that was the only one. Other than that, it was we chilling at the Holiday Inn. That was it. You weren't getting a lot on the radio at that time. That's why I love it these days, because you get a little bit of everything. The people that are working, I know I don't hear Kendrick right now in the area, but Kendrick got his love. If you're good enough, you can get on the radio these days, man.
I think that's where streaming services, and we were kind of talking about this earlier, but I think that's where streaming services remove that aspect, because back at that time you kind of needed the gatekeepers.
So
the radio was
and now then the internet changed the game, man. Right. Especially with, and I think the first one I gotta give Lil Wayne some props, because he really helped change the game with the mixtape of he was the first one to give the people what they wanted without them paying anything. Constant, consistently.
That mixtape era.
And oh my God.
We don't praise that mixtape.
And that was Lil Wayne was one of the big ones, and obviously Gucci, because that's how he started, was mixtapes. But Lil Wayne was one of the bigger artists that was constantly Eminem would give you an album every 2 to 3 years when he had to. The record label said, okay, Eminem, you got to put something out. And when you're getting paid to do something, you kind of have to do it. So you got to show up for work technically, right? Wayne was just working every day, and he wanted to give something to his fans.
Dropping any and everything.
And all day, every day.
Whenever he felt like it.
No ceilings, motherfucker, good morning.
Yeah,
like, it was
still
just,
that.
and dude, but I came from, like, the Carter 2, even the Carter 3. I was a junior in high school, and I was just, at that point, he was, like, full-on celebrity in my head, and then he got bigger. He he was the king of, like, not only like hooks but also features. Like, no one can outplay him on features. Go look at, in that span of time, he had to almost break a record of how many features he had in like a 5-6 year period.
You would hear
everybody's song.
Like, within like the top 10 each week, he was 4 or 5.
In the top 10.
And that's the crazy part about it.
He was in jail half the time.
Yeah, I was gonna say he got locked up. His music was still out here bumping. And it kind of happened with like Boosie, and you'll see it happen with Gucci for sure. But like
they didn't have the repertoire, even though Gucci's like kind of close because he did kind of change the South in the game a little bit. Don't get me wrong, and he also extended the life of like the dope dealing rap game. You know what I mean? Like even though I feel like that is dying because other people People are just like, it's really weird, but people like the real shit or drug doing music now.
Well,
that's really weird.
That's where it came from because like back at that time they were talking about selling it, and it's like,
and it turned into doing
the user became more popular than the seller now. Mm-hmm. So it's like now you hear about it all the time.
Exactly, and half these people that be talking about don't even do it, which I'm not actually like. I'm not really hating because I get, like, obviously they're not keeping it 100% real, but they're making, like, what's hot right now, bro. I get that there's a market point. Like, a lot of the people that make some of these movies and shows and things that we like might not even like or agree with everything that's in there. You know what I mean?
They gotta fit into that kind of like.
But in hip hop, you better keep it real. I will say though, you can do that, but only for so long. Like Iggy Azalea was hot when she came out.
Yeah.
Like, you know what thank you. That's what I was saying. Yep. Exactly. She had a good 4 or 5 hits that were not only
I'd say 2 or 3.
Obviously,
and 2 of them was features.
Well, everyone that I'm thinking of was like, someone was on it. Someone doing the hook or a verse or something.
The one with T.I. was a hit for sure.
Oh, dude, mediocre. Well, if it wasn't for T.I., there'd probably be no Iggy because I love old T.I. I'm not a huge fan of his new music, but like
the new album he had.
Which one?
I can't remember.
Was it like a new one?
But it's the one that had like Dave Chappelle like curating it.
Oh, I can't. It wasn't the one with like mediocre on it, though, right? Because that was the last one I heard.
This is within that.
It was within that era that he put something out. And like, don't get me wrong, I like T.I. And people are always gonna say this, man. Like it's the never-ending thing. You're only as good as your last hit. T.I. just don't like. I feel like he just kept. It's the same shit for me these days, and I don't know what he's always changing his mind on how he feels.
Well, I think what happened with him more so is that he became a reality star for a while.
Yeah.
So he became a reality star, and it kind of took him away from the music. But then he was doing acting too.
You know what something that was weird for me that kind of threw me off. Like I tell stories and do stuff, but I'll never forget. Remember when he did the Paper Trail album and he had the show on MTV, like I'm changing my life. I'm not doing this. He had like a show where he was trying to like teach bad kids how to like live a positive life. And then he gets popped off for like the meth and heroin shit. That was just one thing that was just like, I was so mad at him in the sense of like, bro, I don't care. I listen to Gucci. I listen to some real hustlers. Like I listened to Chief Keef back in the day. But I know that it was on that shit. Don't front to us. Was that for the probation officer? But was that for your fans? Because you made a whole album saying you was cleaning up your acting. It was really just for show, like to sell records. That was one thing, but I do love Tip. Like that's one thing I liked. That like it was probably only because that album made me feel such a good way that I did feel like, oh shit, bro, you really was growing, but he really wasn't. Because then the rest of his shit has been like more of like like I'll shoot a motherfucker, or I'll sell some drugs. It's like, damn it, I thought you was progressing, but then he realized that that's what's selling the records. Probably.
Yeah, well, I think what it was that he realized he had that platform. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And once I think a lot of people get that platform and they realize they do have to eventually say something positive.
Yes.
To survive, you need to say something positive. You need to use that platform to push some kind of movement. And for him, it was pushing the civil right the new age civil right kind of movement. So he became a voice for specifically black people, but for the people in general, against kind of like police brutality and like all of that kind of stuff. So I think that was him trying to move towards a positive light. He probably still had a foot over there in the street, so he kind of got stuck on it. And I think that's what happened to a lot of artists, a lot of athletes, a lot of just people in general in the entertainment business, is that, you know, they start to pop, and when you do start to pop, you start realizing what that corporate world like, but you still got family and friends out there doing, you know, whatever. So you want to look out for them and make sure that they good, but at the same time, for the sake of your career and for the sake of the long term, you know, goal, you sometimes you got to cut them people off. And I think that's what they fail to do sometimes. But even him at the level that he was at, he probably should have been able to cut them off pretty easily, and he didn't. So he kind of faltered there. But if you hear like his new music, he is kind of talking about that kind of stuff.
He's back on the hood shit. And I don't care, dude, honestly, like, I listen to so many hood rappers, like have you heard of Roddy Ricch?
Yeah.
He's big upcoming dude. Yeah. I mess with that, and that's a lot of drug doing music. Like, it's on another level. Like, it's definitely some hood shit, but that's okay because that's what he's pushing out. I'm not against, I listen to everything. I listen to any type of style. I'm also like run a DJ business, so like you pay me, you can play whatever you want. You want to play some classical, you want to play country, I'll listen to like, I hated country for years, but I have like a few like top 5 songs that I could like play or like that I could listen, because I listen to it so much now, because I'm playing it. I get it, man. You put out a music, I'll appreciate it. Just keep it real with your fans and yourself, because you might be able to lie to us, but you can't lie to yourself in the end.
Well, the thing is, you can't lie for too long.
Yeah,
you can lie to whoever you want. You can lie to me. You can lie to you can't lie to yourself for too long. You know what I'm saying? And no matter who you lying to, the lie is not gonna last
eventually.
For too long.
Especially when you're in the media and you're out doing shows.
You're in the media all day, every day. Eventually, it's gonna catch up, and eventually, you're gonna have to tell us the real story. And unfortunately, a lot of times, motherfuckers don't get to tell the real story until it's too late.
Kareem Hunt. Damn! Sorry, man, too soon. Kareem, man, I'm sorry, but you should address that months ago before the video came out.
And you know what's here's my beef with it. And I know a lot of times media headlines is always gonna be clickbait. But the way the headline went and then the stories for the actual incident.
Well, dude, okay, go ahead.
Well, just the way the headline sounds. The headline is like, Kareem Hunt assaults woman. And so, but you get to read the article, and the article saying that she was the aggressor initially, and she attacked one of his friends.
She was calling him the N-word.
And physically attacked one of his friends. So him doing the thing of defending his friend resulted in that. He took it too far. I would say all in all, the way the article was released is like,
it's biased, and it was meant to set him up in a way. And I made the joke to my friends of, okay, what team was it? Was it the Chargers? Was it the Browns? Did they just Cleveland? Okay, so it's like this, man. If my friends know me, I think it's foolish to put your hands on a woman. Listen, man, I saw the video, and I did see he was an aggressor, but so was she in a way. And I will say that, the word to the stigma, you shouldn't put your hands on a woman. Listen, you shouldn't put your hands on anybody.
Facts.
Okay?
Facts.
So, for the lady, and Kareem Hunt did put force first. He pushed her, and then she smacked him, and then he pushed her, and it was all bad, okay? It was all bad. But I know that, okay, so if you're in this position where you just led the league in rushing yards, if you keep this up, you could be a max player in a couple years. A lady wants to do that, say anything. Okay, so I have this rule, right? So a few years ago, when I was 21, I'm 27 now, so 6 years ago, I DJ'd a wedding. And I swear, I was just on the mic, and this girl was smiling at me. I smiled back. I didn't do anything else, right? A couple hours later at this wedding, the boyfriend's all drunk in my face trying to fight me because this girl keeps looking at me. I swear, dude is trying to fight me, like literally saying, I'll beat you. I'm like, you don't want these problems. You know who the hell I am. I'll mess you up. Like, I've been fighting my whole life. Right. Don't try to fight me, bro. And my buddy that was there, I swear, dude, he threw me in this like little closet thing. It was just like a little room like this, and he like started just yelling at me, yelling at me. They just almost made me cry to the point where he was just, you don't fucking do. You got a business. You're about to make so much money this year, and you're about to mess it all up. Yeah. And it just made me realize that no matter what, this person, I swear, from that, I tell people that because to let them know that when you do hire me, it doesn't matter what happens the rest of my life. I'm committed to you that day because this is your special day. Like, you could spit on me and wipe it off and keep working. You could say anything about my kids, but catch me after work. Right. Like, and I realize that. And I realize that when you're in that position, you're held at a higher standard. That's one thing that if I had to be held at that, at a normal citizen, paying normal taxes, normal bills, normal everything, less than this guy, that he has to do that too. Well, and to an extent, because, dude, I trust you, dude. Someone says some racially provocative shit to me or my buddy, like white, black, Mexican, anything, I'm going to snap on you probably, because it shouldn't be said. Two, don't be putting your hands, don't be aggressive in situations, but I know if someone wants to do that, especially like it's different to me or you. Right. You're Kareem Hunt, baby, and you're in a hotel. There's cameras everywhere.
You got to take into consideration that there was probably alcohol.
And he lives a tough. I was about to say he lives a tough life in the sense of where like he lives a great life. Don't get me wrong. This was
over the summer right before camp, so he was probably out.
That was February. It was like a month or two after. It was literally like the next, like the Pro Bowl just had the Super Bowl.
Oh, so he was definitely out just having fun.
He was having fun.
He was out trying to have fun. And I'm okay with that. Drunk. She was probably drunk, of course. So she was probably just out wilding.
And the worst part is no one's ever going to blame the woman. No. You know what I mean? Like, and it's sad, and there's none against women. I agree.
Especially not in this Me Too movement. It was
especially, no, I don't even, listen, anyone can watch my channel, but I'm not, I want women's rights. Yeah. I want them, man. Don't hate us, though. Right. Don't hate the men. You know what I mean? Right. And that's what scares me about the feminist movement is that it's more like man-hating these days. I'm sorry, feminists. I love you guys. Like, I do. And I'm sorry if I piss anybody off. No, but I do know feminists that are very positive for women's rights, but also nice. But I've been called many names for just speaking my opinion on things. You know what I mean? And that's not fair. That's what I meant. So anybody, because I want to make videos that if anybody watches my videos, I want you guys to feel free and feel like we have a good time. I don't get political here. That's one thing. But just me personally, for 1 second, I just wanted to say, something about that movement. But that's what I feel and I see. So maybe if you guys want to comment or say something about it to, tell me about it, go ahead, but we're positive here. You know what I mean? Like,
I think for sure with any movement, and me being an African American male, so I feel like my platform is always to advocate for us. But with any movement, being on one side or supporting one side isn't necessarily always anti the other side. So like, I think what a lot of women and even in other situations with civil rights, whether it be a race thing or a sexuality thing, the people for the opposing side, the opposition, always feel like they're attacked because of that. And you being a white male, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna be the target for most of these comments. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like
I've been so open, so like since I was a little kid, like I've told you this. I know my dad. My first my first sleepover, my first best friends were a couple black kids, and then a Mexican. Like, I've never known any, like, I've never known a race. So, like, this whole, like, this whole thing, like, being called a racist for thinking this way or this way, it's really mind-blowing me because I ain't never seen no color in my life. I see just people. I see good people and bad people.
See, the thing about that is you gotta, with you thinking that way, we need you know what I'm saying, and people in your position that have
not everyone's like me, I know that.
And is as open and embracing as, you know what I'm saying, to all cultures, to all creeds, to all that. We need you to speak out with us, you know what I'm saying? Because I come from Milwaukee, and Milwaukee is one of the most segregated cities in America.
It's crazy, bro. So my wife's from Racine.
Okay.
And that's like, you know all about Racine. That because I'm gangland. That thing.
So for us to move forward in any movement, whether it be the Me Too movement or whether it be the civil rights movement, to stand up against, you know, police brutality, we need people on, you know, the opposing side that are trying to do right, are trying to be good, to not only speak out but come get educated about it. You know what I'm saying? So for me, when I hear like women advocating for feminism or you know, kind of women's right movements, if I'm not, you know, educated on the situation, educate me. Don't yell at me.
Yes, I love that. I will have a conversation, but don't get the name. I'm so sick of the name calling, and you're this because you think this way. Let's talk about it. And the best thing about it is, if you talk about it, even if we disagree, I could plant the seed so maybe later on, but like even if you disagree with me and you never think about that seed, that's okay. At least we had the conversation, and I know not to talk to you about that next time, or maybe, you know, we'll agree to disagree. That's okay, but that's what it's about, man. It, like, how are we ever going to get anywhere if we're just constantly butting heads and never like, oh, you're wrong and you're wrong, you know?
And a lot of times, the media, but kind of society wants us pitted against each other.
They want us.
Because we're pitted against each other on allowing somebody to be, you know, identify themselves as a man, even though they were born with a vagina. You know what I'm saying? Once we're pitted against each other on that, they can go do something else.
Yeah, and
we're not. We don't know about that. That's happening behind the scenes because the conversation is on letting this kid, you know, decide what they identify as. So I feel like a lot of times it's a way for them to deflect, and I try to. My thing is understanding again, and I had a conversation with somebody about this exact topic on Facebook. I think it was like last week, and it was basically like a situation where they said something that I didn't really understand. They were explaining the difference between a sex and a gender, and I'm like, well, educate me then.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So sex is scientifically what you're born as, what you came out, the genitalia that you have, and gender is what you identify as. So you could be born with a penis, and that's your sex. You know what I'm saying? But you might identify as a male, or you might identify as a female, whatever it may be. And I honestly didn't know that there was a difference. So for me to be educated on that kind of allows for the opportunity for people to be like, oh, well, since it's different, then we can move past that. Let's focus on something bigger,
I love that, dude.
And more important.
And that's why we talk about this, and that's why we need this here, and that's why I love having these conversations. And for the people that, you know, this is just proof. You know, I could say one thing, but we're really having the conversation here.
Right. The conversation.
You know what I mean? And that's why, you know, I say one thing, and what does it do? It starts a conversation, and that's what it's about. And that's what criticism is for. Sometimes people get mad at me or other people for keeping it real or saying an idea. Like you said, either educate me or let's talk about it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, let's not just yell at me because I don't fully...
you don't understand.
I don't either understand or I've never heard your side of the fence or maybe I might not even agree with your point of view, but hey, let's talk about it because I need to see how other people think and you need to see how I think.
Facts.
You know, like, because we just can't act like we're Earth and we're the only humans here. We need to know there's other people out there. You know what I mean? That think a different way.
That's the biggest part about it, because like if you just come at me guns blazing, I'm gonna just sit there and ignore you, and that's when that's when your side of the story gets shut out.
No, I'll never. I'm very open about I'm very open about let's keep it real, but let's be respectful. Especially with anything, because how are you gonna ever get anywhere if we're just constantly like pinning against each other?
And I think what people kind of lose in that kind of let's have the conversation thing is it's not me forcing you to change your mind.
No,
it's trying to change the perspective so that you can at least see where that person is.
And you know, honestly, with me is when I go into things with people, and I agree, like I'm a pretty like even keel person. I work hard for my money. People know what I am, and I never come into the conversation to actually sway you per my side, just to give you my perspective, and then you can leave. You could actually, I just want to tell you what I think or what another part of this world thinks, and then we can leave, and you don't even have to agree. You don't even have to like say 2 words to me. You can just be like, oh, okay.
I think that's the other part of it is that people want to be heard. You know
yes.
So it isn't even necessarily you. Me explaining what I believe and then you changing your mind on it or you standing with me on it is the fact that I just want to voice my opinion. And I think a lot of people get stuck in that because at the end of the day, an opinion is just an opinion.
Yes.
But an opinion is valuable and is validated.
Be a stepping stone.
Yeah, it's a stepping stone to understanding where people are coming from or why somebody is the way they are.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So being able to have tough conversations is what we need as a people just right now.
Oh man, and I love it, man. I completely love it. I think that this is such a great interview, and we haven't even got to the juice. Okay, so you told me all about the philosophical, political, everything kind of all in one of where we are as a human being, of where you got to where you are. Okay, now tell me about the music, man.
So for me, my music kind of started as just a hobby, and then it became an outlet for me to just kind of get away. So a lot when I started off writing was me talking about stuff that I wasn't feeling comfortable to vocalize.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So then it kind of progressed into let me try to push this and see what I can do with it.
Okay.
So now I'm kind of at that phase of feeling like this is something that I want to take seriously. And actually do, and I've had fun doing it, and I get to meet new people, go new places. Like I performed out in Fairbanks, Whitley. Shout out Lee Jones. Go check out Lee Jones' music. Lee Jones is dope. But he brought me out to Fairbanks and let me open up for Mark Battles with him. And I went to New York. I performed in New York, in Prattsville, New York. I went out to Minneapolis. We performed in Dubuque a lot. We performed in Milwaukee. I just had a release party in Milwaukee back in October.
Damn.
So like just being able to travel and meet new people, see new places, eat good food.
That's what I'm about too, man.
Fun. And then the crazy part is just the networking aspect of it. Like there's a couple people that I met like out just having fun. You know what I'm saying? I met some people on spring break. A couple years ago that really got me into the music scene in Iowa City. So, just going places and being able to connect with people based off of something that started as a hobby, essentially. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
That's the cool part to it.
Okay, so who do you mess with out here then? Who are some artists that you mess with or would like to mess around with?
So, I'm not super familiar with Dubuque's like rap scene.
Okay.
I've been to like
we
a
can
couple
talk
shows
about that
like, at the Smokestack.
Off the camera.
Okay.
You know everything you need to know, bud.
see, but I know a few people. You know what I'm saying? Like I know of people I've heard of. I shouldn't say I know them. I've heard of them.
Okay, so who have you heard
Red.
Red's a real one. Yeah. I've known him since he was literally a little ass kid. I know all about it. I know vouch. One of the first fan club music like review shows. He was my special guest.
That's what's up.
I've got songs from Red. Like he probably will shoot me for like showing everybody. I got shit with him when he's like 14, little ass kid. He was collabing with me and Marcus and like my people at the time.
See, I've heard of him.
Okay. Good dude.
You know Tony from the DJ. Is his name
Tony Fassbinder.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I've heard of
when
these
he's
people.
booked, when his wedding gigs, he sends them to me.
I got referred to him. I got referred to him to be a DJ for something that I was doing, but then obviously like Case. I've had conversations with Case though, so that's a little bit different. I've had conversations with Jevity. So like I'm aware of these people, but I'm not like too deep into the music scene.
Heard that, yeah.
But kind of what I'm trying to do is branch out to these people and to try to, let's come together in that aspect and kind of push it all together. What I do, like when I go home though, is like just go be around music. You know what I'm saying? So I try to get around music as much as I can. So I'll pop up at the Smokestack. I'll pop up at the Lift just to kick it.
And kind of see it. Hey, the Lift, Smokestack, the Lift. Those are obviously so like. I was 17, 18. I thought I was hot shit. I was performing at the Lift, at the venue. It was called Arenal at the time. Like, there's so many like little clubs around here I was performing at. And kind of took advantage of it. And now, like, I've been. We threw the Live Vibe, which was the fan club show we put on. We did a show there a few months ago, but I've been kind of waiting. I've been teasing people because I realized that. So I was part of the DBRL. I messed a lot around with like Jevy and Case, and it got to a point where like I was doing it every month, and I was taking it. It was killing me. It was taking away from what I really needed to do. It was killing my buzz, and some things happened that won't be said on camera, but some shit happened behind the scenes where it kind of led me to a point where I needed to separate from everybody and be on me and focus on getting my DJ business up so I can make some real money. So when I do want to make some music again, I can actually fund it and get it right and do it right. Because I'm not, this show will never bash anybody. It's not like that. But, I had to fall back from some people so I could get my own shit correct. And that's okay.
I think that's what you learn as you mature, though. You know what I'm saying? That's definitely something that I'm starting to learn to do. You might like a situation, or you might think a situation is attractive, but if it's not better, you know what I'm saying, best for you in the long run, and you have to pull away from it, then pull away from it.
Best advice I can give you too is, I know in this industry you can be like, oh, you should be buddies with everybody. Right. You cannot be friends with everybody, and there's going to be people that you cannot work with because either, like, one, it could be just something as simple as like differences, like music differences or creative differences, or it could be like type of people they are, how they treat others. Like, if you can't work with them, you don't need to work with these people. Like, you don't need to. That's always something I like to tell people is like, don't feel like I feel like because I don't mess with a certain amount of people, I burn some bridges with I can't get on shows that they're on. I won't name any names, but just put the work together.
That's not even.
But I've burned those bridges so I can create my own highway. I made my own platform to the fan club. If I want to get shows, I can still do shows. I'm not relying on nobody no more, and that's the key. So for a while, it was like people would hit me up, yo, we need you to get on the show here because we need to sell tickets. They never said it like that, but that's what it was. It was like, yo, would you like to do a show? But really, I knew what, I didn't get it at the time, and it was just killing my buzz where I wasn't making a lot of money off it. But I was also bringing people, but over time, towards the last few of the shows, I wasn't bringing anybody because no one was going because everyone was going to the previous 10 to 15 shows in the last 5 months. I was just doing an overload, so I had to kind of take a step back and just chill for a minute.
And then even with that being said, it don't necessarily mean there's any disrespect to it.
No.
Just being able to step back, you being mature enough to be able to step back and kind of see the bigger picture. If that's not the lane you wanted to do, then there should be no hard feelings. And who knows, maybe you might meet up down the road, you know what I'm saying?
And then hook back up,
squash whatever it is, and it could be bigger then than it would have been if y'all
at the time, because I had to. We all got to take steps back, and that's what, dude, you go look at it like no one in the hip-hop game is always cool with each other or just together. People split up, people move on, people hate each other, people love each other. It's always going down. So
I think that's just me as a person. I've never been able to fake a relationship.
Yes, me either. If I don't like you, it's gonna show. Even if I don't fully go out and say fuck you, you're gonna see with my actions and what I do. Even if I don't come out full on, you'll see with what I do. We'll be like, all right, you guys don't mess with us no more. So, and it's nothing like, it won't be like no false shit because everything that I'm always one of those real people. But you'll just see action-wise, I will just distance myself from everything that you will do.
And that's really
you'll be here and I'll be over here because
really all that I shouldn't have to do.
I shouldn't have to talk crap. I shouldn't have to do anything. Exactly. It's just at the end of the day, I can't be friends with everybody, and not everyone's gonna like me, and I'm not gonna like everybody. Exactly. That's just the end of the day.
Because if we really don't like each other, why are our names in each other's mouths?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? If we really don't vibe or we really don't fuck with each other, I have no reason to talk about you. You have no reason to talk about me. So let's go our separate ways and live life. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. And that's how it should be.
Love that.
That's with anything though. That's not even a music thing. That's just like anything. That's a relationship. That's a job.
Dude, that's
a friendship, whatever it might be. Just walk away. If it's not working for you, walk away. Go your separate
way. If it's not helping me, especially, and if it's not only real, but if it's not positive, like I have friends that talk some crap to me that get something out of me, but I can't deal with that all the time. You know what I mean? Like, if you do that to me too much, I will snap on you.
Your real friend shouldn't want you.
Yeah, and it's one thing, to amplify me to another level to talk some shit, but it's one thing, where you're just like feeling like, man, it's just so much negative energy, I just want to punch somebody. I shouldn't want to feel like that. Yeah. So definitely, I love these conversations, dude. Like this guy right here, Malachi, you're killing it. I think soon we're going to have to cut this up, but dude, before we leave, give us a few minutes. Tell us everywhere where we can find you.
You can catch me on all of y'all favorite streaming services. We on Amazon, we on Spotify, we on Tidal, Apple, YouTube Music, all of that. I always put up music on SoundCloud because SoundCloud is where I got started.
The fans love them.
Yeah, you can catch me all over the place on there, on Apple and Spotify and all of that. You'll find me under Malachi. The Back for Great project is out now. It's back #4 Great. So that's on there right now.
I was checking that out. That's a hot project. Go check that out, dude.
It's crazy because that actually took a while to put together. I was putting the project together last year, and I had a laptop that crashed, and I lost it.
Oh, no.
So I had to basically start over on that project. And my guy, Tuck, who I'm actually working on a joint project with right now, so that should be coming out real soon. But he kind of created that whole concept of Back for Great and being back and taking it seriously finally.
Damn.
So I'm on there as Malachi. On SoundCloud I'm on as Sir Kai. That's SIIRCHI. And on Instagram and Twitter and all of that as Sir Kai as well.
Ooh, dude, this guy's everywhere. Go check him out, Malachi. Music's hot, dude. Like I absolutely love the music. I was telling him before, to get on here, you have to get past a couple people. You gotta give me something that I actually want to talk about. And that's no disrespect to some of these artists. Just do better. Take some time to really study the game and study the music. Find the right song, and maybe you could be on the show. Because I'm definitely not. I'm not like Bougie, where like no one can be on the show. But I definitely am not going to get Trash Can Johnson on here. Like. I want people, and I could, anybody can get on the show. You can be the preppy kid at school that can spit bars. You can be the hood rat hero. Just come on, baby. Like we don't care who you are, just spit. That's who I am. I've always been that guy because people have been that to me, and people have given me an opportunity. It doesn't matter what creed you are, what religion, race. Like I've always been able to give people, and people give me the opportunity. So I'm always giving it back.
That platform.
And that's where we are with it, and
able to open your doors like people open doors for you.
Yes, and I know it took this, and what I'm going to tell people about you too was, it wasn't easy. I was very busy the last couple of weeks, and this guy was consistent. People need to be consistent. He was on my ass about getting this interview, and I was literally going to put something funny about it because it's like, if you want a good interview, I might put it up. Like, this guy was consistent, and it's not like you were never bothering me. That's what I liked about it. But you did hit me like, hey, buddy, can I get on there? And then I remember I was busy and I forgot about it. And then he hit me back, hey, man, will you hit me back? And I was like, dude, I got you, man. I do like your music. We'll get you on here. So be consistent. Don't just think because you hit somebody up once, they're going to reply. You got to be a little bit more consistent in this game because people have lives, people have kids, people have things going on.
You apply for a job, go ahead and follow up with that supervisor. You hit a girl up once, and she don't reply the
Hit
first
it
time.
back. Everything, bro. Like, we got it. Like, he knows, I know. We're already on a level. Like, this is the first time I met this dude, and we already, like, meshing. It's good. It's good work, man. Hey, I want to thank you, man.
Sure.
It's been a great episode. This is probably the longest episode of the fan club in the history. But I don't really want to cut it. Like, I would just about to just let it go because it was good. I don't think, I mean, besides maybe that, I actually thought that feminist comment wasn't bad. It was just it was just a cycle. And I challenged an idea, but I never said I hate feminists. I just said I just don't like being called like names because I disagree. Yeah, being attacked for being a male. That was the only thing.
I feel you. And I'd even challenge it a little more and put it out there that let's have a conversation about it.
Yeah.
And a conversation.
And we're not here.
Not an argument.
I don't want the feminist woman to be in my comments yelling at me because that's not what we're about. You guys win. If it's that, you guys can succeed and win the argument because I don't want to fight you feminists.
Right. But a conversation about it is what I want to have.
And if we can talk about it and have a good time,
for sure.
then obviously at the end of the day we're here for entertainment and we're here to entertain people. And I'm not here to make everyone happy, but our fans happy. And we're trying to
please everybody.
Yes, and I know that. So we're here for your amusement or disamusement, whatever you want to say. But hey, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Malachi, he's been a treat for us tonight, man. It's been a good time. I want to thank you again, bro.
For sure.
We're going to have to do this again.
Of course,
and hopefully, I'll show you some of my music. Maybe we can get on the collab too, because that would be sweet. But hey, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. We'll see you next time here on the Fan Club. Y'all have a good night or day whenever you're watching this, baby. Peace.